welcome to Unit 4 of Business Analysis Techniques. This is the summer 2014 quarter. And this week we are going to study regression analysis, and we're going to use Excel 2013 to help us complete some regression analysis on two different problems. So the reading this week is Chapter 4, Chapter 4 of your textbook, your online textbook. And I also have the PowerPoint slides that go along with Chapter 4 attached here. You're going to have discussion this week, as always. So when you go into this discussion, make sure that you make a main post and then at least two responses to your classmates. And so in the discussion this week, we're going to talk about the difference between the dependent and independent variables and some examples in problems that you may be familiar with, um, or how you would apply independent or dependent variables to something that you might work on. So that's our Unit 4 discussion. I'm going to talk about variables in the regression analysis. Then you've got your assignment here. And there's two pages, well, two files to the assignment. As you can see, there's two separate files. One of them has the data you're going to use to complete the regression, and the other is the worksheet where you're going to actually enter your answers. So let's look at the data file first. So you're going to have read Chapter 4 before you start on this homework, but this is the sheet with the data for the two different problems. You've got a hospital problem and a housing data problem. So with the hospital data problem, you'll use this data to complete the regression analysis, and you will enter your answers on the Word document. Here you have all these questions, and then question 2 is related to this housing data. So the Chapter 4 walks you through how to use Excel to do a regression analysis, but just to get a visual, you're going to go under the Data tab, What If Analysis. No, that's a different chapter, sorry. We're going to go to the Data Analysis tab over here. It's still under the Data tab. We're going to data analysis. This is one of those tools that we installed at the beginning of the quarter, the data analysis tool pack. So you're going to go here now, data analysis, and this is all in Chapter 4, of course. I'm just showing you, but you will read it. And so you'll select regression. This is how you'll get to the regression analysis. So then, of course, when you get to the regression analysis box, it asks you for the Y input range. So you would enter your Y values. It asks you for your X input range. You'll enter those values. I don't have any labels included in my information, so I can skip that. You would click OK, and then you would get the regression data. So I'm just going to back out of it. And with the housing data, you again use the data analysis, and you've got two X ranges, so you would make sure you include all of this information in the X values, and the Excel will spit out for you the regression data. So you'll have all the data, and it'll put it on a separate tab for each problem. So then once you have the regression data, then you'll pull out your Word document, and then you'll be able to use that data to answer the questions. So you're talking about finding an equation that relates total expenses to the number of admissions. So you're going to fill in, using the data that you have, what your Y would be, what your X would be on the equation that you've got in Chapter 4 for relating a variable in this manner. And then you're going to use that formula to predict what the expenses would be if the hospital had a certain number of admissions. Um, you're going to answer this information, SST, SSE. If you haven't read the chapter yet, you won't know what those are, but once you read the chapter, then you do. I'm just going to look at the book real quickly here. As you see, the book here explains extensively what these terms are. I'll close that, actually. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I wanted to close this. There we go. Okay. So the book explains what each of these items is that you're asking about. It talks about what the SSE is, what the SSR, MSE, explains all of those. And it also tells you how to find them in the regression data. You see, I'm looking at page 125 of the online textbook, and it's showing you how to put the regression data into Excel, what I just showed you. It walks you through all of that. Then it will also show you how you're going to get your data. Mm, Let me find the page because I want to show it to you. Just okay, yeah, here it is on page 130 at the bottom here. This is what your regression data will look like. Once you've filled out all the boxes correctly in Excel to do the regression analysis, it's going to create a new sheet with your regression data. And in the textbook here, it shows you example and some example data and tells you where to find in that data each of the items requested in the homework. So make sure you review that when you're answering the problems. Because once you have the data, all you have to do is pull the answers out of the data, and the textbook shows you how to find all of that stuff. And there is an example here on page 130 of some regression data. So yeah, this is going to be pretty straightforward. The key to this week is just entering the data into the regression analysis correctly, and then all the answers are in there for you. All you have to do is pull them out. So I showed you in this video how to get to the regression analysis, and then also you see that information is in your book, how to get to it as well. And that is what you're going to do this week. Let me get back to the class. So you've got discussion and assignment this week. This is our usual pattern. You've also got a video example here of a regression problem. I highly recommend that you download and watch that video because that's going to walk you through a problem very similar to the two homework problems we have, and it'll show you completely how to do a regression analysis and then get the information out of it that you need to finish your problems. And again, you have some additional examples and your textbook website available. So I look forward to talking with you in the discussion this week, and I hope you have a great week. Thanks.